Drug addiction is one of the major disorders among the young state. The dependence on illegal drugs for normal body function has serious consequences on the lives of the victims as well as of those who live with them in society. The statistics for the Nation Institute on Drug Abuse indicate that over 24 million Americans aged between 12 and 65 years were already using drugs by 2013. Is there hope for the next generation if the current trends are anything to go by? The answer to this question can only be left to speculation in the quest to seek answers to these psychical menace. I managed to interview April, a young mother of three who is on her way to total recovery from cocaine and methadone addiction. She works as a goodwill ambassador with a community-based organization that helps young people change their attitude and behave that may lead to serious addiction. April was born to parents who trafficked and did drugs for as long as she can remember. It was through her upbringing that she got handed to use sprays and drinking sexual alcohol. She experienced turbulent childhood that was marred by violence and all manner of indecence. By the time she was 12 years old, she had already begun smoking marijuana and getting involved in dubious criminal activity in the neighborhood. She had poor consistency in school and dropped out before completing her high school education. Her future was shuttered completely and downright obscure due to the life of daily hustle and bustle. She became pregnant with a man she cannot recall. Her mind was always high on drugs and her memory of her late teens was not clear. It was at the time of birth of her first child, Jessica, that it dawned on her that she was overly dependent on marijuana and cocaine. She tried putting her life together for once, settle with her child, and seek a decent life. Reality had drawn on her that she was not only responsible for her life, but also had to take good care of Jessica. At the back of April's mind, it was apparent that Jessica deserved a better life than what she had gone through. In pursuit of a different and new livelihood, she got a manual garbage collection job which she was compassionate to do perfectly for the sake of her daughter. Nevertheless, she was not sober most of the time due to the addiction, although she managed to work for the company for about 4 months. She rented a small single-family apartment near the woods since she had limited options. No sooner had she begun gaining stability than her mother reached out for help. April's mother had already divorced her husband and was on an uncontrollable drinking spree and getting high on drugs. She had only gotten lucky that the authorities had not caught up with her due to protection from some cartel involved in the uncaught business. She allowed the mother to stay but on condition that she would not harm Jessica with the narcotics and that she would not entertain any man in the apartment. It was such a horrendous condition for daughter to mother to addicts in the same apartment. However, April was just trying to protect her child from the addict mother where herself was an addict. Addiction is a complex mental condition, and fighting it goes beyond the good intentions and strong will to do so. It requires a lifetime commitment. As such, April's mother did not stay for long without resuming her normal drug usage and within the house. Additionally, she began inviting other men into the apartment and doing all shameful behaviors. Notably, April was seeing another man at the time who happened to be an obscene bully and midnight addict. This conjuring of eventualities create a worst case scenario in which a mother and her daughter are drug addicts and living in the same apartment with her granddaughter. Consequently, April snorted cocaine to cope with the stress and disappointment. Her then boyfriend was not bothered much about her. Soon she was pregnant with her second child. Savannah, nodding her head, April commented that the use of drugs more often than not culminates in the indulgence of irresponsible sexual behavior, which increases the risk of getting unwanted pregnancies or contracting sexually transmitted disease. Moreover, she clarified that the judgment of the addict victim becomes impaired and cannot make any rational decisions. Scared that she would not be able to take care of both children on her own, April sent Jessica to live with her dad temporarily with the hope that Dean would shape up. However, how would Dean shape up while she did not make any commitment toward attending a better life free from addiction? Instead, more mystery entered her life when she was fired for lack of work ethics and sobriety during working hours. At some point, April was charged with several counts of lawlessness, including child abuse, possession of drugs, and driving under the influence and using a suspended driver's license. According to her, all hell broke loose when she was found and sentenced to community service since she was perceived to be a first-time offender. Strong warnings were also issued to deter a repetition of the same. It was during this period that her second daughter was taken off foster care. Meanwhile, as if poor Evan had not taught her, April got into yet another discrushing relationship with an addict. Out of relation, she gave birth to her third child, this time a son who she named Jacob. She still lacked an objective life and high dosages of menendin in her blood effort, Jacob during pregnancy. As a result, the infant had to remain in the hospital for at least 4 weeks after birth for the effect of the drug to cease. However, April experienced a relapse and Jacob was put under the custody of his estranged father. It was here that she committed a burglary crime in the street that she was caught on the wrong side of the law and had to serve a 1-year jail term. Her life hit rock bottom. She had no family, no children, no job, and seemingly no hope in life. The drugs had gotten the better part of her and engaging in risky and masculine behavior was the produce of the action. Her irrational in thinking was taken over by drugs, and her physical health was getting worse by the day. Luckily, during her term in jail, she was taken into probation where she met a psychologist from Citra Center. She had begun regaining her consciousness and making decisions regarding her life after prison. Guilt and shame were overtaking her emotions, and she felt demoralized by her past. However, she acknowledged that the past could not be corrected, but the future could be shaped for the better. As this is the case for every recovering addict, April was getting withdrawal symptoms occasionally, and some were servant. Thought time called for thought action. She said as she sobbed in bitterness, she had to bear the responsibility for her life, draw the payment for the wrongful act she had done, and brace for the object futures. To achieve this goal, she underwent the recovery and healing process by attending deep sessions with the psychologicals even after her jail time was over. Moreover, she was motivated by the fact that she needed to be a mother to her children and bring them up as responsibility as possible. Therefore, she needed to put her life together once again and change the psychology. However, April was remorseful for how she had brought up her children, resulting in one of them being adopted. I lost Savannah, she recalled, and chill cascaded down her cheeks. Nevertheless, she was proud of have a family, although it was not united. At the end of the recovery program, she reunited with her father, stepmother, Jessica, and Jacob. Savannah remained in the custody of the foster parents. April was offered a job at Cita Center for her zeal to let go the addiction and adopt a healthy lifestyle. I feel like a teenager again, being an advocate for clean and healthy living free from addiction is all I want to do. I have nothing better than help out those in need, she concluded.